What's going on, guys? Gomes here back again on another MLB The Show 19 Diamond Dynasty video, and today I am going to be talking about Battle Royale. Now recently I have been getting into BR Streets a little bit more recently. I've notoriously not liked it too much just because I find it usually you face a lot of the upper echelon people, you know, a lot of the top players will play Battle Royale because they can get to 12-0. They can get the flawless rewards and make a bunch of stubs off of it, whereas ranked season there is a set, you know, tier that you are in. So if you are in the 600s, you're not going to play a World Series player, or at least you shouldn't if the matchmaking works properly. But Battle Royale, pretty much it is open, you know, it's fair game. If you are 0-0 and you know somebody who's usually in World Series is at 0-0, there's nothing stopping that match from happening. So that's a little thing that has stopped me from playing Battle Royale in the past, but recently I have wanted to do it a little bit more, and today I want to talk about the best way that you guys can set up your team, the best way that you guys can draft your team in order to have good success in this. I know I'm 2-0 on this one, but I'm just going to reset it, and if you guys didn't know, all you have to do is press L1 to forfeit the entry. It will clear it up, and just the same as like last year or the year before where you would have to quit out of the games, or at least get to 2 losses to end it. You can simply quit out, you get your BR pack, and you are on your merry way. So now we are back here, and once again it does cost 1,500 stubs to enter, but you do get a standard pack, which isn't actually available this year. It was like the 1,000 stub pack in the past, so technically at worst you'd only be losing like 500 stubs if you consider it. But this is how I would personally draft my team. So the first thing that is completely off the table is going to be a starting pitcher, at least a diamond starting pitcher or a gold starting pitcher. You do not want to do that. So we're really only going to be looking at these 3 guys. Now remember, Battle Royale are 3 inning games, and a lot of times you're not going to get really high scoring games, so that's why relievers are so important. And then starters, you know, let's say I did pick 99 Nolan Ryan, I have a 1 of 5 chance of getting him in the game, and stamina's tuned down as well, and I possibly might be in a situation where I need to pinch hit for him, and starters that high of rated are just not worth it. A reliever is usually good. I would, if you can get 1 diamond reliever, I think you should. I don't know necessarily if you need a 97 overall reliever. If you get a couple golds or a couple really solid silvers, that should do the work. I don't think you absolutely need a really good closer in your first round, because the first round is always going to be like the signature series players guaranteed. So unless like your other 2 hitting options are bad, I probably wouldn't go with the closer unless it's, you know, somebody like insane. So we're really between these 2, Ricky Henderson and Willie Mays. Obviously, Willie Mays does pretty much everything better than Ricky Henderson, except he has less speed. So that alone should tell you that he's probably the pick. And you guys will notice the trend. I usually like to have a decent amount of power on my team, because hitting a home run, that is going to be the big difference in a lot of these scenarios. This is played on all-star difficulty, so home runs are easier to happen rather than legend or Hall of Fame difficulty. And then you can get home runs pretty fast, opposed to having a bunch of contact guys, which are good this year opposed to in the past, but you know, they are obviously not going to hit as many home runs, and you can't get runs as quickly. So yeah, you can get 2 straight singles, but that puts a lot more pressure on you than just hitting 1 home run. So this next round, right, again, I also would not recommend to take a silver starting pitcher. It's much more worth it to just build up a solid bullpen, in my opinion. Always make sure and look who is up or down on inside edge. Keep in mind that this does reset each and every single day, so you know, if you're drafting a team, probably be playing it on that day, because let's say I were to draft Kyle Schwarber right here, tomorrow he might be down, or tomorrow the Cubs might not be playing, and he will not get that IE boost, which you can make the case that he's still a good player regardless. But if you're looking at their maximum capacity attributes, that is what you're going to want. Salvador Perez is a pretty good catcher, but I'd probably rather have somebody a bit better at hitting. Right here, I'm probably going to be taking Kyle Schwarber. He is 70 fielding and 93 arm, which is increased from the past, and of course he does have 83 power, tuned up to 91 today. So Kyle Schwarber is definitely going to be my pick. Even if I find a better outfielder, he can still be a very nice bench bat, which is something that you guys are also really going to want to find. Here's where I really recommend taking the starters. If it's a common round, I almost think for sure, just check to make sure the common hitters, some of them might have a lot of speed, which I do recommend to sometimes have somebody with a lot of speed on your bench that can help out. Once again, we're not going to even look. We're going to pretend Patrick Corbin isn't even there, so it's just between these three. We have Johnny Bench, who's going to be a pretty good catcher, but once again, he's more of a defensive-minded catcher. Mark Reynolds has low vision, but really high power. However, I think I'm going to take Johnny Ventures right here. I've had good success with him in the past, and I know he's tough to hit for a lot of people. And always make sure that you are getting lefty relievers and righty relievers. It's very important to find a good balance in between those two, and Johnny Ventures just kind of does it all. He doesn't have the best control, but I think he is going to be the move right here. We have another diamond round. Mike Scott, not even there, but we have three realistic options: Brett Boone, Joe Torre, and Dellin Betances. Now, we could take possibly Dellin Betances, and he'd be like that one shutdown reliever I really want. However, I really don't think that there's going to be a better catcher that we're going to see other than Joe Torre. I used Brett Boone. I don't think I was a huge fan of him. Their stats are almost kind of synonymous. He has a little bit more contact, but Joe Torre has more vision as well. Like I said, I've used Joe Torre in the past. I still have him on my Diamond Dynasty team, and this is another important thing. Always make sure to check out your stats, see how familiar you are with them, because the more familiar you are with them, you are probably going to have more success. Beer's kind of a balance between trying out new chords and using guys that you already know are good to try and help you get the most amount of wins possible. Right here, we really don't have any good options at all. AJ Minter is down -3 to a 74 overall. So we're going to look between Forsythe and Jose Iglesias. I thought Jose Iglesias had better fielding. Not really. So I guess we'll take Logan Forsythe. He is a utility guy, so if we need to pinch hit or if he's just on the bench, he can easily fill in his spots. Ooh, we have an interesting situation right here. I really enjoy Roberto Osuna on this game a lot. But we already have, I don't know, Hunter Dozier, another thing you have to look at. Hunter Dozier is pretty much useless versus lefties, fair to say. 48 contact, 58 power, and not the best defensively either, so I think there's probably going to be even better bronze options that are more balanced. Mitch Haniger is pretty decent, but I think Roberto Osuna, now that we have a really good righty and a really good lefty, is going to be a nice balance. Kelvin Herrera is another good solid gold reliever. However, I know Xander Bogaerts, he's up to an 85. You guys can see his stats right here, plus 13s versus righties, so I definitely think he is the move. He's going to be a very good hitting shortstop. So we are going to take him right here. Bronzes, I do think, are a decent move for starting pitchers as well. Bronzes and commons. This Garcia has 81 speed, which is pretty good, but we can probably find better. I do think it's important to find one really fast guy to have as a pinch runner at some point. So if you have like a slower guy, let's say like Yasmani Grandal or so, on second base runner in scoring position in a clutch situation, and you need to pinch run, that is what you're going to look for. Another starter right here, but I think we'll take Michael Chavis because he does have pretty good power, and maybe he will even get the start at third. He's usually up. The Red Sox do play today. He probably just is not up in overall. Right here, I don't think there's really any good options, so we're just going to pick the starting pitcher. Common, once again, we're just going to take the starter. No really good hitters in that round. And we do have another diamond round right here, so we do have Troy Percival, but we already have two pretty solid gold relievers, and I think we can probably get a couple more silvers, so I don't want to take him. I'm probably between Big Meat Pete Alonso right here because I've done pretty well with him. He's hit some bots for me, or I guess I've used this live series and he hit a lot of bots for me. I haven't really tried out this one so much. And then this Ty Cobb, neither really have good defense, but like I said, power is more important to me than contact, guys, just because Pete Alonso is going to get runs a lot more fast, in my opinion. Finally, we have this last one. I'm going to say probably just Edison Volquez round out my starting pitching, so I don't have to worry about that. We still have 2 commons, 5 silvers, and 4 bronzes, and we can focus that all on the rest of ours right here. Jeremy Jeffries, I know, is pretty solid. Gregory Polanco and Cole Calhoun are not bad options. We really only have, well, we probably have our center fielder and left fielder squared away. So I think I'm going to take the silver option right here. Jeremy Jeffries throws pretty hard. We're going to go with him. Throwing pretty hard is beneficial in my opinion. A lot of like the lower tier guys that you play, you know, some of the people like in your first couple games might not be able to hit that up and in fastball. So that is something to think about right here. Michael Conforto would be a solid one. His fielding is pretty bad, but he is a right fielder, so we wouldn't have to decrease that anymore. Chad Green's not a bad option, neither is Sam Dyson. Randall Grichuk is up. He gets plus 13s on the day. Always try to make sure to find some good lefties and righties, try to differentiate your lineup. So for that reason, I think I'm going to take Michael Conforto right here. I've had good success with them in the past. And once again, I think that is an important thing to think about. If you've had good success with them, you might want to lean that way. Right here, I don't think it matters too much. Just find somebody, usually a good hit 9. Hit 9 is what affects their PCI, your opponent's PCI. So, you know, nonetheless, I'll probably just take Ryan Harper. Not really any good options right there. Whoo, we have some pretty solid relievers right here. We have Chris Sale. We only have one good one lefty at all so far. Oliver Perez also has a nice nasty break on that slider. Or Diego Castillo. Of course, you guys know I'm a Rays fan. I've used this card before. He's up to an 83, a +5. I'm going to go with him. He throws absolute gas, and he's going to have a hit 9 of close to 99 on the day, so we're going to pick him. Here's a situation where you kind of are just forced. I didn't really want to waste a reliever on a comment, but I guess I'm going to have to. Once again, find somebody with the highest velocity or hit 9. I'm just, damn it, Dan Straley's actually down on the day, so I guess I'll just go Fernando Salas. He will not play, so I really do not care in that situation. And here is our last reliever. Luckily, we do get another lefty, and it's going to be Taylor Rogers. He's up to an 81, gets +11s on the day. So we're going to have two pretty solid +80 overall left-handers, and probably 3 pretty usable right-handers as well. So our bullpen is fine, squared away. 1 silver, a common, and 3 bronzes left. If we can still find a speed guy, I would really like that. We have Brad Miller, who's up on the day. I think I'll just go with Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Once again, pretty versatile in where he can play. Eric Thames is down on the day. He is -7s versus lefties. Sano's down 2. Those are usually pretty good options. We're going to take Ramiro Tapia right there. He has 89 speed, so that's a pretty solid option right there. Here we have Tim Anderson. We already have Xander Bogaerts, so we don't really have a need for him. Nico Goodrum plays shortstop as well. Another really platoon guy, but he only has 60 fielding, so in a secondary, that's going to drop down to 55, so that's pretty ass. First base, we have Pete Alonso, so we don't really need Eric Hosmer. He's down on the day anyway. Sean Green's pretty bad in my opinion. Tim Anderson can play second or third. His defense still sucks. Oh, I don't really know who to go with right here. I guess he has 81 speed. We're just going to pick Tim Anderson. We'll probably play him at second base or something. Common round right here. Nobody really has good hitting stats, so just pick the highest speed. And then finally, our last option, Hunter Pence. Pretty solid right there, up on the day, +4, getting +12s versus right-handed hitters, or right-handed pitchers rather. Gaddis does have good power. Of course, he's a free agent. He usually would be one of my favorite BR guys to have as a catcher. Not the best defensively, but definitely can hit for a lot of power. So we're going to take Hunter Pence, and that is our team. I honestly think it turned out pretty well. If we look at our good hitters, we have Joe Torre and Pete Alonso are very elite hitters. Xander Bogaerts is going to be nice. So is Willie Mays. Michael Conforto is a righty killer, as well as Kyle Schwarber. On our bench, Tim Anderson's probably going to slide in. He's going to have bad fielding, but we'll probably put him in at second base over Logan Forsythe right there. Or actually, no, we might keep Logan Forsythe and put Tim Anderson in place of Michael Chavis right there. Hunter Pence, I don't think he's going to have a spot. I'd rather have both Michael Conforto and Kyle Schwarber. But you guys can see that is a pretty decent team. That's by no means the best team that I've ever drafted. And if I don't like it, you can simply forfeit the entry. Keep in mind that you guys will have to spend another 1,500 stubs if you guys want to draft another team. But I think that is pretty solid. If you guys have any other questions on how you guys should be drafting your Battle Royale team, make sure to leave your questions down below in the comment section. I have not gotten 12-0 yet, but like I said, that's obviously more so because of skill. If there's one thing I can do in Battle Royale is put together a damn team. I just need to get better at the game and do that. And hopefully we will eventually get there. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like down below. Hope you guys have a great day. Later, guys. I'm out.